For day two, good evening. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about this little barnet cut that I've had to do. Happy Tuesday, happy haircut day. Now, where were we? Yesterday, mentioned my goals and my habits that I'm aiming to do for the foreseeable future, certainly the minimum of the next 30 days, definitely the next 90 days I included on these. And this video is to contribute for the first one. If you were here at the video yesterday, thank you very much for joining us again. I'm trying to monetize this channel, but more importantly, it's not about that. It's actually about learning and sharing what I'm learning from this podcast that potentially has not changed my life, because I've heard this stuff before, but for some reason is getting me to continue to listen to this. Now, at the start of this Bob podcast, for anybody that's not watched this video, I'm talking about how to stop negative thinking in the Resilient Mind podcast by Bob Proctor. Now, also coincidentally, even before I start talking about that, 4 years ago today, to this day, this is the 3rd of February 2026, the 3rd of February 2022, our main man, Bob Proctor, unfortunately left this world. He ran out of sand in the Hourglass. And this is where this podcast started. Evidently, in the workshop he's talking about, he talks about time and has an hourglass, little sand things, it looks like that, figure of 8, and the sand drips through the middle. And he's talking about as an analogy to life and looking at the specific sand. Now, also coincidentally, this week is both my grandparents' birthday, and at the end of this week, I'm going to be going to see them. One is 91, one is 89. So they've had very good innings. And I'm supremely grateful for them. And at the same time, I am just starting to understand through, potentially, if I were to live as fortunate as long as those guys, my grandma and grandpa, I am potentially a third of my life through just to get to more than a third of my life, get to my grandpa's age. And that, I've known that, but the realization of that is only fully starting to emotionally stick, so to speak. So I'm a third of the way through life, potentially. I might be lucky, I might get a little bit more. We might all get Neuralink plugins and last for 200 years, but yeah, there's also the other potentiality of that life may be shorter. Bob shares a specific thing of a school friend. Now, I'm fortunate enough not to have ever experienced that, not that I'm aware of anyway, but I'm a teacher, and one of my ex-pupils at one of my schools earlier in days, one of the pupils that I taught, unfortunately also ran out of sand due to some very unfortunate circumstances and was found outside in a river. And yeah, that happened a couple of years ago, and we had an up and down relationship as a teacher and pupil, but at the time it was quite harrowing, and it does keep coming back to me. I mean, he attempted to chuck a chair at me, so it's not the most positive experience, but I knew he was a pupil that I did have a lot of a care to. I did enjoy having him in my class, because I knew it was a good thing, him being in my class. And we used to have a little bit of fun when he was in a good mood. So, and he would have been about 14, 15, maybe even 16. So not old. So, the main point I'm trying to put there is that, along with Bob, life is temporary. Life is temporary, but we also know that we don't know how temporary the temporary is. And very similar with Bob's grandma, it would be, "I'm soon be gone, dear. I'll soon be gone." Well, my grandparents don't say exactly that phrase, but they'll be away soon, or something along those lines. And I mean, I'm now 30. I've been hearing that for a wee while as well. So it gets me reminded of a little quote that Ricky Gervais talks about. And weirdly, this has got me more spiritual, whereas he goes from it from a more atheistic point of view. That life, the question that he poses to somebody is like, why do you watch a movie? And well, you're interested in it. Why do you watch a movie again? Because you liked it. And you want to go and revisit those emotional feelings. You want to go and see this because it was a warm feeling inside. And the issue he talks about is, well, we don't get that luxury in the real world. So that's why he is more grateful, because you've only got one shot at this. And I've been stuck in that mental lock for a wee while. Like I used to take medication, SSRIs, at some point in my life, and was even violently sick. So even my body was rejecting the stuff that was supposed to even help me. But even after reading its potential toxins, the point that I'm trying to get to is that we only have now. And that's me taking 7 minutes to even get into that point. We only got this moment. So there's no point in thinking about what's previous. That's one of the things that's actually hindered me for years. But you can only use what's happening now and hopefully see, albeit invisible for everybody else, but yourself, see potentially what could happen in the future, but it's not guaranteed. So 8 minutes into this, my question to you, and the thing that I've learned, is you've got to deal with the now and make the best decisions in the moment that you have, using the tools and the information you have only in this moment. Because you're not going to have them forever. You only have those tools or those information in this moment. So it's best to try and make the best decision you can, or a decision right now. That's what the best decision makers have ever made. And that's what, in a physical representation of this building, is for me. These 4 walls. I'm not sure if it was a perfect decision. It was a decision. And I'm grateful for it. I'm now excited to see what's next. And I've already mentioned what I want to achieve in the next month to 3 months. Hope you've enjoyed. We will see you in the next video.